Today we're going to have a chat about how I've got some irrigation down to this section of the yard to save me dragging the hose from the other side of the house down to here and ruling it up every time. So stay tuned. Hey guys, I'm Daryl and welcome to the channel. Now today we're going to have a look at irrigating lawn areas. I've probably got at the moment an 8 by 8 metre lawn area and that will get bigger as we continue our landscaping down the side of the house. The issue is watering it. Up until now I've been bringing the hose from the other side of the house where the tap is down to here, putting the sprinkler on it, moving it around so it does the whole area, and then at the end turning the tap off, and most of the time I just leave it draped across the driveway and across the garden and everything to here because I'm just lazy. Now traditionally I've used the poly pipe, it's 12 or 19 millimetre from memory, comes in a big roll, it likes to stay in the roll so it likes to kink as it goes along, which makes it a real pain when you're putting it into trenches. I've used pop-up sprinklers in the lawn areas. This time I didn't want to do that, just from trying to make it as basic and simple as what I can and not have ongoing maintenance with pop-up sprinkler heads and things like that. They're a very simple thing, pop-up sprinkler heads. They just use water pressure to pop them up, whether they're gear driven or whatever. They come apart really simply, and if you need to replace them, they just screw out and you just screw another one in. However, I just didn't want the dramas of it, and because of the lawn area that we have, I figured we could get away with one good sprinkler higher up in the area. So that's what we've done. We'll have a look at what I've used there, and instead of the poly pipe I've used a 15 millimetre PVC pressurised pipe. It does have to be glued together with all the fittings instead of just pushing and putting a clip over them. So it is a little bit more messy, but it's simple as we'll go through the cutting and gluing process. It is just a really simple way of doing it. And I think the PVC piping is a little bit more robust than the poly piping, which I find over time you generally find someone puts something through them and you're plugging them up and things like that. With the PVC piping, if something happens, you just cut a section out and glue a new section in with joiners. It's just really, really simple. I've also put in a hose outlet over here, which after trialling it, my massive hose that I've got on a roll-up trolley around the side, I kind of won't really need anymore. And this is a bit of a game changer by having a point halfway across the yard. So let's have a look at what I've done first up to allow me to get irrigation and electronics for garden lights and the like underneath concrete paths and driveways. Because we've built this house from new, we've put down the concrete paths and driveway. So I've left a 100 millimetre gap between the house and the path, and that's all the way up the side of the house. A couple of reasons for that. If you ever get white ants, they can treat this area. They don't have to drill through the concrete to be able to treat under there. And it also gives you the ability to trench any electrical or water pipes for irrigation that you want to do down the side of the house. And in the end, we'll just fill this up with river stones and it'll look quite good. And you won't get that ugly meeting of concrete and render that you often see. Under this small section of path, I've laid two 35 millimetre PVC pipes. One, we're running our electrical through for our garden lights. The other is the 15 millimetre PVC pipe for the irrigation system, and that just slides into the larger version. You can see that coming out the other side of that pathway, and then we've laid the pipe along here and underneath our turf. And from here to the other side of the driveway, I've got some 63 millimetre PVC pipe. And you can see on the other side of the driveway, the 63 millimetre PVC pipe that runs under the width of the driveway. We've got the 15 millimetre PVC with our irrigation system coming through there. We've got wires for our 12 volt lighting system in the garden, along with a lot more space for future expansion if we so need it. What it does do is make the laying of these conduits super easy. I'll just run over how to cut and glue this PVC pipe because all the fittings are glued together, but it's really, really simple. You can use a hacksaw or the like to cut this PVC pipe. The problems that I've had in the past though is that you do get a burred edge that you have to clean up before you glue it together. The easiest way is to buy a cheap pair of PVC pipe cutters, and because this is 15mm pipe, it's really simple to cut. So it's just like using a pair of scissors really. And it leaves you with a nice end that's ready to be glued. With the glue, you use a primer and you use the glue. The glue you can get in a non-pressurised and pressurised version. We're using the pressurised version. So first up with the primer, and you'll see that's got a great applicator in it. We need to prime the end. So we'll just run that around a few times. And that's primed, and we have to prime the inside of the fitting too. And that's done. That flashes off really quickly. Then we just use the glue. Again, we just run the brush around with the glue around the fitting a few times. And again with the inside of the fitting that we're connecting it to. Now all we do is push them together all the way in, give it half a turn, and job's done. Now this will set in about 15 seconds. Leave it for at least 2 hours, preferably overnight before you pressure test it, but that's solid as a rock. So as you can see, it's really simple to glue these fittings together for this application. So let's have a look at how we've connected this up. I've got a recycled water tap as well as a clean drinking water tap. We're running all our garden irrigation off the recycled tap. We've just got a connection here with 20mm PVC pipe that runs down to a two-piece. Off either side we're going down to 15mm. This pipe that stops here I've left for future expansion, and I've just put a screw-on fitting at the end of it. Going the other way, we run along the side of the house and under the pathway. What I will do though is cut this here and put a filter in it, and that will allow me to also filter the water going to the gardens, along with allowing me to unscrew this top section off the recycled water tap. At the moment it's just a fitting that's all been glued up. Once we come out the other side of the pathway, you can see how we've fed the 15mm through the 35mm pipe. We then just snake around the border of the garden, and that's probably an area where you're not digging, so you're guarding the pipe a little bit, and then it just shoots underneath the driveway, 6 metres across, and that was really simple just to feed it through. Once we've come out the other side of the driveway again, we've snaked around and underneath the decking. All of this pipe will be covered up by dirt. However, it's good practice to leave it all uncovered and make sure you've got no leaks. Now this is where it gets interesting. On the other side of the decking we've got a two-piece with a ball cock on it, and that runs to an impact sprinkler head. I've also put a two-piece behind this and run this up to a tap, and that tap has ceramic washers so we don't have to look after it, and a built-in fitting for a press-in hose fitting. So to use the hose, all I've got to do is turn off the ball cock to the sprinkler, and we can use the hose. And when we want to finish with that, we just turn that off, turn the ball cock on, and water goes straight to the sprinkler. Again, with the impact sprinkler, I've put a two-piece here and run it down to an end cap so we've got future expansion. Around the sprinkler too, I've also put in some tent pegs, and that holds it down because this impact sprinkler does move around a little bit. This is the really long hose that I've been using to get down to the extremities of the property, and I'd have to unroll most of that to get down to the far end of the property. And with this garden tap situated here, this is all I now need to get to the extremities of the property. and this just clicks on and it's ready for use. Now I've chosen a brass impact sprinkler because they're really robust. This was like $24, so they're cheap as. And if you pull up the stopper at the back, they're a full 360-degree sprinkler. If you put the stopper down, you can adjust the spray with these two stoppers. So it basically just spins from stopper to stopper. This arm here will adjust the height of the water that streams out of the jet. And the good thing about this is you get full water pressure out of this jet. And you can adjust the spray pattern with this screw here. But with this, it does the whole lower lawn area. So I'll just go and turn this on. And you can see the rain pattern it gives, and you can see that this is watering this whole area. So it's watering down to about here. I could take out the overflow onto this path, but I'm leaving it there at the moment because no one comes down here and it's watering all of my garden beds at the same time. And you also seem to get a bit of a rain pattern underneath the main arch. But you can see if we come up here, it's actually reaching up to about this point. So once we get this area turfed, this one sprinkler will do all of this grass area. I'd also suggest that our water usage is less because this does this whole area and it's got to be on for less time, whereas previously I'd have the sprinkler on the end of the hose and I'd have to move it around here. If we want to turn off that sprinkler and put the tap on, we just turn that ball cock off, let's turn that on, turn the tap on, and we're good to go. And with the small hose we can water all the way down to our extremities on this end of the block, and I can also water up to the other boundary. So from hosing, this has been a bit of a game changer. And if we're finished hosing, we can just turn that off, let the pressure out of the hose, unclick this and turn the sprinkler back on. And because this is just an accessory that hangs off the recycled water tap, at the end of the day we can just turn the whole affair off here. So that's about it for this episode. This keeps my house, the front of the house, well watered. We've got expansion capabilities in the system. I think it's a fairly simple, high quality system. So that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed that and we'll see you next time. Bye now.